出くわす場合もある。
大好き。
どうぞ。
わあ、美味しそう。
マクロ、団員のほとんどは無個性だ。手洗いまでは笑ってる。天狗がね。
Hello, my wonderful besties. I hope you're all well. I finally found a setup that I actually am pleased with, so get used to it. You'll be seeing this all summer long. We're doing something, I guess, it's kind of different. Today, we're going to be talking about anime that are very good, but I just haven't been able to get into. Madison Brown made a video several months ago about talented musical artists she couldn't get into, and I thought it was really fun, so I thought I would do my own version and talk about good anime that I just can't get into for one reason or another. And before you write a novel in my comment section telling me that,
Okay, you have no taste.
all of these shows are very good, well, except one. Number 1, Attack on Titan. I think this is a great place to start because although I understand the series hype, I just haven't been able to get into the series other than its popularity. Man-eating titans wreaking havoc against humans, and side note, this is a nitpick, but the Titans look mad weird to me. Their skeletal body just kinda creeps me out. The plot follows a very similar structure to a lot of shonen action series, where a male protagonist will have a coming-of-age story where they suffer from trauma from losing a loved one,
yada yada yada,
training arc,
yada yada yada,
and then has several battles that culminate into the character becoming stronger and also a better fighter. Repetition isn't inherently a bad thing, by the way. Demon Slayer, a show I love dearly, has a very similar plot with Tanjiro losing his family and having to protect his sister Nezuko from turning into a demon, but to have to go through something so similar again just doesn't sound too appealing to me. Most of the characters I hear are pretty complex and have interesting backstories. This is one of 3 series that I feel people think is overrated if they just don't like the series. But I personally don't think Attack on Titan is necessarily overrated. I just think the series is targeted for a very specific viewer. Whether or not you like stories that have more conflict-driven narratives or things that have peaceful problem solving, I don't think anyone would be able to get into Attack on Titan if they don't like action series or have never been exposed to anime, but you know, that's my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Number 2, Cardcaptor Sakura. Cardcaptor Sakura is another series that I just haven't been able to get into. I think a very big contributing factor to that is I don't really watch a lot of magical girl series, unless Sailor Moon counts, but I feel like everyone and their mom has seen that. But you know what I have actually started recently, guys? Sorry, going off script. I actually have started Revolutionary Girl Utena, and y'all, it's so good. I really recommend it. It's so powerful. Gender non-conforming legends. If anyone was like wanting to get into Revolutionary Girl Utena, this is your sign to do it. Cardcaptor Sakura clearly is not targeted towards my demographic. It's definitely more towards children, tween, and teen girls. My little sister, for example, used to watch this series religiously on Netflix, and I think she has something that she wants to say about it.
What is Cardcaptor Sakura? So Cardcaptor Sakura is a magical girl anime that aired April 7th, 1998, and this show is intended for girls ages 8 to 12. As a young girl, I find this anime extremely disgusting because of all the inappropriate age gaps and relationship dynamics. The show focuses on 10-year-old girl Sakura, who gains magical powers by collecting clamp cards. The issue I have with this show is that this show just keeps repeatedly making pedophilia or incestuous relationships between the characters, although this show is intended for young audiences. Some examples of this inappropriate behavior is seen with Sakura's mother, who is 16 at the time, and her father, who was 25.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What business would a 25-year-old have with a 16-year-old? Children need to be notified of the danger of dating people that are near, close to them, or people that are related to them, because those are all very disgusting things and should not in any way be encouraged for young children. It's really disgusting knowing that actual adults had to animate this and then they published it. It freaks me out, the fact that they would do that, because now I'm thinking about this and I watch this show, I've already been grossed out by it. Even in the first episode, they had very concerning themes. You know, in the first episode, it's hinted that Sakura has a crush on her older brother's friend. And you think you're like, okay, that's cute, until you realize that that is her older brother who is in high school. Sakura is either in elementary or middle school, meaning that age gap is over 6 years. The fact that they would make this for young girls to fantasize about older men who could potentially groom them, it's not okay. And that is one of the main reasons why, even as me, that I liked this show so much. I love the theme. I love the 90s aesthetic. I could not finish it because it was just so triggering to watch something that, like, they played it off as it was so cute. It was disgusting. But that's just my take on it.
Okay, queen! There's a lot of overarching themes in Cardcaptor Sakura that are worthwhile. I do love their love is love slogan that they've kind of put themselves in with the show, but it honestly is a double-edged sword. We see really well developed queer relationships, which for a kid's show is honestly pretty surprising. The magical girl aspect of the show is honestly a lot better than some. However, the relationships were kind of a turnoff for me. Speaking of romance, Clamp has a very interesting way of writing romance, and by interesting I mean very weird. Rika's relationship with Tarada Sensei, I hear, is just totally awful. The girl is 10.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god! What is that?
Rika's relationship really reminded me of Marmalade Boy because they always made constant references to her being mature for her age. Okay, side note, the teacher-student romance trope has got to go. Film Fatales made an amazing video on that, so for anyone that's trying to say,
Hey, it's not that bad. It's in a fictional universe.
there's a thing called grooming, that it doesn't have to be intentionally predatory for it to be grooming. Plot-wise, other than the magic system, there's just not a lot to keep my focus. The series does have a lot of filler episodes, which is why I can't rewatch series like Naruto. And to go through that whole entire franchise, oh no. Number 3, My Hero Academia. Okay, this one's personal. I was a huge fan of the series when I first watched it in 2018. Shonen action series were my guilty pleasure of choice, and I absolutely loved the premise. The first 3 seasons were great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Season 4 was alright. I don't like it as much as some people, but it's still a very good season. My opinions also line up with the majority of people. Midoriya is basically the same as any male protagonist in this genre. Bakugo's character growth is well done. The female characters need more agency and shouldn't be hidden by their male counterparts. And obviously, the constant sexual references Mineta makes are downright annoying. But season 5 is where the series officially loses me. I'm not alone in this. There are countless commentary/video essays talking talking about how My Hero just fell off the bandwagon and is now kinda boring. I thought it was around season 5, episode 8, where I knew the class 1A and 1B battle went way too long. To my knowledge, it takes up around nearly half of the season. The battles didn't really make that much sense to me, considering they already fought one another in the sports festival in season 2, and we already got to see just how capable of fighters class 1B was. Oh, also, I hear that Shigaraki loses quite a bit of complexity compared to the manga, which is kind of sad considering just how amazing the series was when it started. It was really building itself up to potentially be the next Marvel in anime, which is why I think it's very easy to recommend My Hero, because if you're someone that already likes sci-fi, fantasy, or supernatural stories, My Hero would be a very good anime to get someone into the community. I like My Hero. It's still a pretty good series, and I do watch it on occasion, but I'm not a hardcore fan like I used to be. I definitely don't think it's the best shonen action series by a long shot. That place will always go to Fullmetal Alchemist. Number 4. His and Her Circumstances. Bro, I don't want to. I don't have time for her. Whatever her name is, or him, that popular boy who I don't care about. The two fall in love over the course of 24 episodes. That most likely is gonna happen. I already know they'll be together, or some type of relationship drama will occur. I'm not gonna get into it, y'all. Seriously, it's not that special. It's a typical shoujo slice of life romance series with a storyline that opposites attract. I already hated it in Boku no Ita. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna watch it. Okay, let's move on. Number 5, Sword Art Online. Yup. I was one of those people that loved SAO. I remember the first time I watched SAO, it was in middle school, and I was riding the bus watching the first episode on Netflix, and I thought this was the peak isekai anime ever. But boy was I wrong. It's common knowledge that this series is either very good or very bad to most people. A love-hate relationship, just like school days. The reason why I have this show in this lineup is simply because of its popularity when it was first airing. I don't think I've ever seen a series like SAO disappear from pop culture like the way it did. It's kind of crazy. Season 3 was barely talked about, and people were just waiting for it. I stopped around the midpoint of season 2. Season 1 was fine. There are some issues, but like, I don't think it's that bad. But season 2, boy, did this anime get predictable. I already knew that guy was the villain who drugged people. It was obvious. Kirito basically has the personality of a walnut. Asuna was alright. Nothing special. The swordsmith girl, meh. The pixie fairy though, girl boss. And although it's not classified as a harem, the series has a lot of similarities since most of these women want to be with Kirito at some point in the series, and like, y'all can do so much better. That man is not special. Not much to say. SAO was a good series when it started in the Aincrad arc and then just steadily went down. Number 6, Kamisama Kiss. Okay, everybody. Calm down. Calm down. I know what you're thinking. I know that Kamisama Kiss is a very popular and beloved series to a lot of people, and this is going to be a polarizing opinion. I just got bored of it. That's it.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Season 1 was fine, and again, maybe it was because I watched the series several years ago, so if I did watch it now, maybe I could enjoy it, but I just don't see the point. I just found the main character pretty typical. I was not a huge fan of Nanami. Tomoe was interesting, but I didn't really like him that much. Kurama was meh. Mizuki was pretty funny. The story was actually pretty good, but it just was not my cup of tea. And I would be lying if I didn't say that Kamisama Kiss is a top tier shoujo and reverse harem series. But I just couldn't get into the characters enough for me to thoroughly enjoy the series. Also, this is just a big thing about me in anime, by the way. If I can't get into the characters by the 3rd episode, most likely I will dip. Kamisama Kiss, a great show, great manga, but Number 7. After the Rain. Alright, I wanted this video to be very lighthearted. However, I just don't think I can be super lighthearted when it comes to this series. If you've seen the anime that I have covered on my channel, After the Rain seems like a logical next step. Even though the series is targeted towards my demographic, it's just not for me. Let me explain. It's no secret how I feel about relationships between adults and consenting minors, putting that in quotations. I always find the relationship dynamic to be very weird and awkward and also quite tense. I just find it really weird for a minor to be in a romantic relationship with an adult. And I know the age of consent in Japan can be as low as 16 in some places, but a 45-year-old man who's your work manager? To my knowledge, Masami doesn't actively pursue Akira. He mainly just gives her emotional support, while Akira uses her feelings for him as an escape from her foot injury. It's very much a one-sided crush on Akira's end. But to be fair, I do think the pursuit of older men is sort of a reflection of the Lolita resurgence on TikTok and Tumblr, the sad girl aesthetic which has been everywhere. And as much as I love Lana Del Rey, she has some very questionable lyrics in some of her songs. Akira and Masami do end up going on dates in the first couple of episodes, but from what I watched, I don't think they're gonna end up together. Actually, peep, spoiler alert, they don't in the anime, but I can't speak for the manga. Their relationship doesn't feel too lovey-dovey. It's more of exploring the character's emotions. So to that, their relationship and how After the Rain portrays it is definitely on the depiction side and not endorsement. Grex made a great video that dissects how the anime subverts this problematic premise and the symbolic undertones that carry the plot. To end with a silver lining, the animation style is beautiful. It's literally flawless. There are some scenes that almost took my breath away at just how beautiful it was, but at the end of the day, a relationship, even if it's just depiction of a 17-year-old with a 45-year-old, just rubs me the wrong way. And to that, you can say I just don't have taste, but I personally can't watch a series like that, so it's a no for me, even though I know it does a great job. So I do have that respect for them. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed this. I realized that ended quite abruptly and I didn't really have a good, strong conclusion. And I know that this is a lot more lax than my other videos, but I did want to give you guys something while I'm working on my other video essays because those are just taking me a very long time. Just to give you a hint on what it might be, it's a topic that I've actually already covered. I'll see you guys soon for a new video. Until next time. Bye!